So it happened like this. I was in Djibouti, which is the bottom of the Red Sea before it opens up into the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean, with some people I had met in Port Sudan on a catamaran. I think they told me after, it was a French protectorate at that time, and I actually watched the French leave. But the few days I was there, it was still a French protectorate. They had, what it mean is the main street was all French, right on the coast, the shore was all French, like I don't know, what's French? Paris, what's the fancy district in Paris?
Champs-Élysées.
Champs-Élysées. I would say it was like that, but it was a fancy place, all fancy stores, and I think they even had a red light district, and it was like, it went for like a few kilometers along, all the way along the strip. It was all French, fancy French. So I had a broken sandal, and I wanted to get my sandal fixed. So I went from store to store, and they said, you know, fix sandals, buy a new one, it's only $100. Or $50 or whatever. I said, thank you very much. I'm walking with my broken sandal, and there's a little path going down, away down into the main area of the city, and so I just follow this dirt path down, and all of a sudden I find myself in a different world, completely different world, totally different world. And you know, I've been traveling in the Arab countries now for quite a long time. I started in Morocco, I went all across North Africa, down through Egypt into Sudan, and so I was speaking some pidgin Arabic. You know, okay, this is another good experience here. So I'm holding my sandal, and you know, it's obvious what I want to do. I want to fix my sandal. So they bring me. I'm brought into this closed room, open roof, looked like some sort of shuk, all types of things. And, selling things, and I went to a guy, and he has a machine. I give him my sandal, and we smile, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, you know, all the few words I know, and then something started changing. It started getting crowded, and more crowded, and more crowded. And I was being moved farther away from the little booth where I left my sandal. And I was laughing, and laughing, and I was starting to get pushed around a little bit. And I happen to know that every single person here they're wearing a jillabo, which is the Arab dress, the robe that goes down, but every single one of these guys has a knife like this, sharp on both ends and studded. Every single one of them. They said, when I spoke to them, they said, oh, it's a holdover from when we were tribal people. We don't use them now. It's only for ornaments. Sure. And me, the naive Jewish boy that I am from Montreal, I happened to be walking. I had $200. That's it. My passport, but I happened to have a huge leather money belt, this big like that, sticking out on there. I'm wearing shorts, fat shorts, big, huge, fat money belt like this, I think my shorts are held up by patched jeans, I don't know what, so. And I thought to myself, oh, you know what, I may have made a mistake. I shouldn't have come here. I thought to myself, one of the few times I was scared. I got a little bit scared. I tell you, I was getting farther away from that guy there. Just keeping my eye on where my saddle was. Suddenly, a man showed up wearing a suit. Not the typical Arabic robe, but he was dark. And he said to me, he took my arm like this, and he said, you should not be here. I said, oh, thanks. He took like this, he clenched my arm like this, and we started walking. And I didn't know what Yam Suf is then, but later thinking back, it was like Yam Suf. It was like opening up like this. All the people were opening up, and then I'm walking with him, and I look on my shoe, and I say, my shoe. I left my shoe over there. He's speaking English, And he looks at me like, I'm saving your life and you care about your shoe, you know? And he goes like this. Like that. The next thing I know, my shoe's there, fixed. You know, and me, I want to pay for it. He actually lifted up his hand to me when I went through it. And I said, oh, how much is it? You know, and I started going to my big money belt or something. I don't know what. He almost lifted up his hand to me. And the next thing I know, he like threw some coins out like this. Like I just saw some coins flow out like that. So I walked with him out of that roof space, and we walked. And as soon as we got a few meters out, like he was still holding me tight. I said, okay, here we go, you know. And we walked up the path. He showed me, and he said, and we got to the French neighborhood, and I looked around. There was a dock. I said, you know where you are now. I said, I know where you are. I said, thank you very, very much, you know. And he said, and don't go there again. He said, the last thing he said, and don't go there again. I said, oh no, I won't. You can be sure I won't go there again. He turned around. I turned around and started walking. And I said to him, you know what? Taka, he may have just saved my life. I should get his name and his number and his address, write him a letter later, you know? I turned around, and it was true, it was getting dark. But I saw him kind of like, I say it now, you may think I'm not so joking. I saw him disintegrate. It was dark. I saw it like, but it disintegrated into the cloud, into the people. There were a lot of people there like that. So, I wouldn't say, when I told this story many, many years later to the children on the bus coming to Meitzah, to Yerushalayim, to the Cheder here on Mount Zion, the kids said, oh, it was Eliyahu Navi. I mean, I wouldn't say such a thing, And afterwards, other people said, didn't have to be Eliyahu Navi. Everybody has a protecting guardian angel. Maybe it was just, that. Or maybe, who knows what. And so, when I got back to the boat, I told them what happened. They said, "Are you crazy? We told you not to go there. We told you not to go out of the French neighborhood." I didn't remember them ever telling me. Not to go there. I didn't remember. I knew I had a broken saddle that I got fixed. So I needed to get out of there. So the captain, Bill, he spoke some Arabic because he was some years in Saudi Arabia, the son of an American diplomat there. And so he wanted to help me. He told me you can get to Israel through Amman, Jordan. But that's all he knew. So that was my idea. So looked at a map, okay. There's Yemen, there's Saudi Arabia, and then there's Jordan. And then there's Amman and cross over into Israel over there. Right? So I don't remember how I got my visas, but I had them. I had a visa for for Yemen, because when we had come down, the Solaris, the catamaran from Port Sudan, when we had come down to the Red Sea, we stopped in Haggadah for a few days, and there we had to get a visa. So I already had a visa for Yemen. And I don't remember how I got the visa for Saudi Arabia. But I do remember, and I can show you it till today, and they still do it today. They stamp in the visa, it's in the form, if an Israeli visa is obtained hereafter, this visa is void. They write it, it's in the thing. And I heard that they even have that nowadays. Even they do that nowadays. But I had a visa. So the captain, he went from boat to boat, find someone going up north, up the Red Sea as far as he can go, and all he could find was this Yemenis dhow commercial boat, carrying sacks and sacks and stuff, going right up to the north in Yemen to a place called Al Hodeidah, right next to the Saudi border in the north. So the deal was, I give him $20 for the ride, and they take me. It was 4 days and 3 nights, something like that. It's a long time. And my passport he holds, because he has to make sure I get off okay. And I told him I didn't, make sure you give it back to me. He said, yeah, don't worry. So there I was. I got on the boat, and we're sailing. Now, everybody knows about Gat, right?
Yeah.
God is the opium of Yemen. It's a leaf, and the whole country runs in it. I don't know how it is now. It's a chaval. It was a beautiful country when I was there. It really was. And the whole country runs in it, from the bank manager behind the bank to the guys in the motorcycle, everybody like this. I was shown markets of it. They showed me the best, how to know the best got from the not so good. Markets, huge market, just got, I couldn't believe it. Just got. Anyways, this boat, I got on this boat with the crew. They were the most crazed imbeciles I have ever experienced in my life. I can't even tell you some of the disgusting things they did. Really, really terrible people. Mamish terrible people. The only one person on the boat, there were about 8 or 9 of the workers, was a young man. Who we're filming. Was a young man, 14 or 15. He slept on the top. I slept with him, and I kept his company because he was more normal. He was a 14, 15-year-old boy, even though he couldn't speak. He had some sort of speaking that maybe, I don't think it was because I didn't understand Arabic. He couldn't speak very well. So one of the first days I'm with him on the boat, and I was smoking cigarettes. I go to throw out my cigarette off the side of the deck, and he grabs my hand, and he goes, I look at his hand, and this is all, no sensation. That's where everyone on the boat put out their cigarettes.
On his hand?
And on the back of his hand. He's smiling, so proud, you know.
Wow.
Then I understood that he had never left the boat. He was a virtual slave of these people. He never touched, he would not let him touch the land.
Wow.
I left him, when I left him my harmonica. I'm sure he didn't last very long. I felt bad after the fact. I thought, because I had 2, I think we played harmonica and Khalil together up on the top of the deck there. And so anyway, so we came to shore, and the captain went off, and he came back, and he said, we have to wait 3 days till we can go in and unload the boat. And I said, no. I'm looking out at the sea, and I see a little little motorboat, you know, a fishing guy. So I said, Captain, come on. He says, yeah, okay. He hails him down, the fishing boat comes, gives me my passport, I say goodbye. Whew, I made it off that boat. I climbed down the rope ladder into the boat. We meandered for a long time, it seemed like a long time, till we got to the shore, and that started my most unbelievable trip in Yemen. Really a good trip. To be continued. I'll leave you with this. As I get off the boat, and I carry a big red knapsack with steel-toed construction boots attached to them, a bottle full of water, a knapsack, my patch jeans and stuff. And I walk into this cafe on the shore of the sea, where everybody's bent over, wearing hats like this, pointy hats like this, and smoking the pipa, the Arabic tobacco, and dark, and really strange. They looked at me, I don't know who was more scared. But within half an hour, anybody who was anybody in the whole town came to see me. And I was told by the one school teacher mayor, that a taxi comes once a week to go to Haggadah, it costs $20. He's coming right now. That won't come for another week. And then another army guy said, listen, I got an old broken down army jeep not far. Help me fix it, I'll take you for nothing to Haggadah. Looked like an interesting place. So I let the taxi drive. I let the taxis go, and I stayed there. To be continued.